to Let's Get Unleashed. I am Cherie Harris, life and relationship coach, and I am really excited to introduce my guest today. Not only does this particular person have a really special place in my heart, but she is a really special person to many people. Her name is Karen Robinson. She has over 30 years in the talent management space for various Fortune 100 and 500 companies. To date, she has placed over 8,000 people and 50 executives. Karen is the co-founder and CEO of KK Reset LLC, along with her business partner, Kia Jones. Karen has been pivotal in the people and culture space, helping clients to build their culture through an EDI lens. Karen provides HR and EDI services to various productions, over 45 to date, across Broadway, from inception, readings, and initial workshops through full commercial runs. As a complement to her work on Broadway, Karen is an adjunct professor along with Kia at Columbia University, teaching human resources as part of the theater management program to future producers, directors, and other key theater industry members. I am more than happy to introduce you to one of my besties, Karen Robinson. Hey, girl, what's up?
Hey, oh my goodness. Thank you, Cherie. That is so wonderful. Mm-hmm. And just so that you know, it's actually 500 executives, I realized.
Wow.
I should have shared that. So I've been around a minute.
No shame in her game, Leslie. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. How are you, ma'am?
Listen, I'm so excited. I wanted to be here and be on your show. And I'm just so proud of you. I need to just take a moment because everyone needs to know that Cherie Harris is just incredible. This amazing, amazing, amazing person that I truly love and cherish. So just want to say that.
Thank you. Oh my goodness. So before we get into this topic that I love, which is unveiling true love and how to know you found it, let's just tell everybody how we even know each other. Okay. So, from your bio, this very, very high profile bio, la-di-da-di-da, by the way, is actually part of how we met. So you want to share with everyone how we met?
Yeah. So it's fun. We had a mutual colleague who was the sales rep. At the time, I was in talent management for an agency, and Cherie was their client. And they just knew that there would be some connection that between our personalities, that they wanted me to work on the account. They wanted me to meet Cherie, and we met, and it was just sparks. We became like besties instantly. And my goodness, that's over 20 years ago.
God, yeah.
Or close to. And it's great because we knew when to be like client and professional, and then we'd switch that hat in a second and be like, okay, let's do this.
That's so right. Because, it's funny. I should probably make that an episode in terms of podcasting, because a lot of people don't know how to switch gears when they're working with friends or family members.
Yeah.
And we would actually say, okay, friend hat. And so we would shift gears real quick. And then we back to like business hat. I mean, Karen was really great because not that I'm a difficult customer, but I'm kind of,
you know what you want.
I know what I want. Thank you. And I know what I want. And so, if something was going on or something wasn't right, I would call up Karen and she would be straight up. I'm sorry. Absolutely. Blah, 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 blah. I will fix it. I will send you someone else. That's unacceptable. Like all the things. And then I would be like, okay, cool. Friend hat. Are we going to go hang out tonight? Like it was, I could have just been kind of like going off. Right. But that's how we do it. So it can happen. But
yeah,
outside of that work relationship, we have blossomed into more than friends, sisters. We have laughed, we have cried, we have partied, we have traveled,
we have lost.
We have lost. Yes, we have lost, and we have overcome individually and together. She has been there for me through some of my really rough times. And it's one of those things where it's like, girl, you know so much about me. It's easy to just keep you, honey, because if I was to get rid of you, I mean, you can write 17 books. Okay, so forget about it. It's just
Well, you have written 17 books. I'm just waiting for my book to come out.
Absolutely not. So let's just kind of get started and get into it, because I know a little secret that a lot of people don't know,
Ooh.
that you are in love.
I'm so in love.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Thank you, Cherie. I am super uber duper duper uber in love.
My God,
And
I couldn't be happier.
amazing man, David.
Yeah,
Okay.
I had the just so that you know, I had the everyone to know, I had the pleasure of meeting this wonderful man in my bestie's life, along with my husband. So just a quick
Yes.
sidebar.
Yes.
So my
Big
husband,
bro.
yeah, big bro. So my husband Claude and Karen met a couple of years ago, and it was like a love fest. I was like, seriously, do you need me to like step aside, like like whatever, And whenever you call, he gets involved. And when he found out that you were dating someone, because we had been through a couple of rodeos, we've been through a couple. And he's just like, nope, nope, I don't like this one. Nope, nope, nope. And though, so when you came to California earlier this year, and he's like, is she serious? I'm like, yeah, she's serious. He goes, I have to meet him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he went into big brother mode. I need to meet this man. And I'm
Uh-huh.
like, okay, sure. And as soon as they met, they're like the same person.
Yeah.
They were like the same person. And so he is super happy for you. He approves, he's Claude
I
approved.
love that. It's
And
important.
he is Cherie approved for sure. So how long have you guys, well, tell me about him. Tell me about your guy.
Yeah. So David and I met online. I'm very open about that because I think
Oh,
it's really important. I think sometimes, especially as women of color, we get shy away from online stories. And there are stories. And listen, I've kissed a lot of frogs, or they attempted to kiss me.
girl.
But yeah, David and I, September will be a year. And we're grown folks of a certain age. And so a lot of the foolishness that you get into and the superficial stuff just wasn't even on the table.
Yeah.
We knew how we wanted to communicate. We knew when we wanted to communicate. We knew what was going to be tolerated and what wasn't going to be tolerated. We had our guidelines. We really had our own guidelines. And we made it very clear from the beginning, this is how you treat me. And when I tell you that's a communicative man that nobody would know is as communicative as he is, it was very important to make sure that we were communicating that way.
Yeah. I know you, like I said, you're my bestie. And so we've had conversations, and I'm not going to disclose too much, but we have had some conversations. And I remember some of the conversations you would call me and say, how do I do this? And how do I do that? And I'm going to let you share what you want to share, but speak on some of those things where you were questioning and just wanting to do things differently this time, and why.
Yeah, I think sometimes, especially when you're single a long time, and I've been single a long time. I've been in relationships, but I've been a single woman. I've never been married, and it's a very different concept. And I think that David has been married. He's been married several times, and in that, he is a husband. The way he
Two times, not several times.
Actually, it's a little more, but this is a podcast, and I won't put his business in the streets.
Number 3 for me, I am mad. So it's all good. All right.
Yeah, no. I'm not going to put his business in the streets. But what I will say, Liz Taylor, sorry.
She just called me Elizabeth Taylor.
No, I was calling him.
Oh, okay.
No, but what I will say is that he approaches things from a husband standpoint. And I didn't know what to do with that. Like, he has an expectation of how you communicate, what you do, as little as even travel. Like, I need to hear from you. I need to see you. I need to. And I was like, whoa. This is too much. Is he going overboard? And he just operates from a very protective and a true man space. not a grown boy space, but a man space.
Mhm.
And he made me realize that I was dealing with a lot of grown boys until I met him. Yeah.
So
My job.
seriously, no, that's pretty deep. Sorry, fellas, but I mean, hey, it is what it is. You mentioned something about the calling when you're traveling and things like that, and then you're talking about being single for a long time. So how is that a shift for you when now you're like, okay, someone's checking in for me? Like, what went through your mind? Like, how does that feel?
You know what? It feels great because I wanted it for so long. And then I realized I was like, oh, I got it. And I don't know if you realize this too, Cherie. It's like when you've got a man who's so secure in who he is, and he loves being a man, and especially a Black man. I'll just put it out there.
Mhm.
Their whole way is different. And it's not about a falling into line, but it's like, this is my place. And I can be, and we talk about this, I can be big boss lady, or I can be small and little baby and girly like, and he'll make my tea and he'll do all the things. And then I can run my business and he'll let me shine. So it's so special.
Yeah, there's nothing like having a man who is so secure in his manhood,
Mm-hmm.
and that he's not threatened,
No.
he's not jealous, you know, um, by his woman who is powerful. If anything, he's going to be there to put the hand in the small of her back to make sure that if she starts to buckle a little bit, that he's got her. And I know in both of our journeys, we've had challenges with that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah. We've had challenges where
Yeah.
the men, maybe we were the breadwinners, or me, I traveled my entire career, I was always gone.
Yeah.
And so, what are you doing while you're traveling? Are you doing this? Are you doing that? And it's like, I'm traveling. This is what I do for work. Some people
Right.
travel, some people don't. I always have. And so it was a challenge sometimes, but it's really nice when you can have someone who just is like, you're my woman. I don't care, regardless. And I'm your man. And we need that. We need for their manhood to come to the forefront without being, overly bravado or anything like that, just being the man for us.
Yeah.
So how is it?
How's what?
How is it
You're not ready.
in our particular age group? We're 50 and fab, right? And
I'll talk about it.
we
Don't
are
get me
in our
started.
50s and fabulous. Let's just call a thing a thing, right? And fabulous. And we've been around the block a little bit. So how is it now having this new relationship in this stage of life?
Yeah. Oh wow. I feel so blessed to have it now because I think I would have messed it up when I was younger.
Can we talk about that? Can we talk?
I would have messed it up. I would have self-sabotaged. All of a sudden his belly button smells. I would talk about all kind of foolishness that means nothing.
Wait, I have to stop you for a second. Listen, guys, we're girls and we're gonna have a full-on girl conversation. When you talked about the belly button, I know that you had specific things that drove you crazy. And one was the teeth. It's like if the teeth were together, you were out of there.
Yeah, no, the teeth are good.
Right.
It's solid. Yeah.
You know what I mean? You would call me like, his teeth, Cherie. It's from the bathroom on a date. From the bathroom, you're in the bathroom like, I'm not going back. His teeth, something's wrong with his teeth. I can't.
Right.
And I remember that, of course, I never had any issues with any man. I was just like, they can come as they are. Just.
Oh, please. No, you see, we don't have enough time. That's a different podcast. And I'm not going to call that out right now.
No, my biggest thing was, the gray hair.
I said I wasn't gonna call it out.
There, girl, like I said, you can say whatever. And it was so interesting, when I was in my 40s or what have you, I really stayed away from men who had gray hairs. I didn't realize it was. I would run. I'm like, I am not dating grandpa, and by any means, not happening.
And what did I tell you? I used to say some people premature gray. Like, what are you doing?
It's the weirdest thing. And, needless to say, what my hair looks like, thank God for Maybelline, it's nobody's business, right?
Same here.
But then I fall in love with a man who is 11 years my senior, and a decade plus a year, right? Love of my life, treats me magnificently.
That's right.
Salt and pepper me. He's a man of particular age, and I could care less.
That's
and the
right.
only reason why I bring this up, because of where we are in our lives, and you touched on it too, Karen, when you said, you would have self-sabotaged and you would have done all these things. So we are talking about, how do you know you found true love?
Yeah.
So before I even ask you about what you're getting from David, but what have you allowed yourself to receive now?
That's a great question. I think, what I've allowed myself to receive is someone who can give me the real talk and leave me whole.
Ooh.
Let's just sit with that.
Wow.
Because people pretend to give you the real talk. And especially in relationships, and you think they're talking life into you, and they are depleting you. They are making withdrawals. They're making no deposits, and you're sitting there one day empty. Wow! And didn't realize when did I get robbed? And I realized that, wow, I barely put the shingle out, barely opened the door, and money's just pouring into my life, blessings pouring into my life. And knowing that I don't have to ever think about certain things anymore or worry about things that I took upon myself to worry about when I didn't need to. My partner needed to worry about that. Now I have someone who does.
Wow, that is so deep, the way that you said that, because it's so important. And I've said it to my husband, but differently. I've always said that he knows exactly how to reel me in without breaking me down, speaking down to me, making me feel less than. And you so eloquently said it and put it together, but it's so true. And vice versa. I'm able to, check him, if you will, or what have you, with a little bit of a shock factor, but he knows that I'm never coming from a place where I want to hurt him. It's always, and that's the difference. That's a difference too, because as we mature and we want these magnificent, mature relationships, right? We have to be able to really know what it is to communicate. And it's more than just talking. It's more than me just saying something and you just saying something. It's really understanding, like you said, when someone says something to you, even if we don't like it, we know the person well enough to know that they're not trying to hurt us.
Yeah.
That's maturity. That's the difference.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, well, they're only saying these things because they're coming from a true place. And maybe I need to reflect. Maybe I need to see what's going on with that. Have you ever had a situation where he said something to you and you had to sit on it?
Tuesday. Yeah, every day.
Tuesday.
No, yeah, he drops a lot of his own alleged mics, but I'll give it to him. there are a couple of good ones in
Right.
there. But yeah, because he's very observant and a lot of times he's very jovial. So you think he's not paying attention, but that person misses nothing. And he checks me. He checks me on a regular basis. I check him, but more importantly, it's like, we have our truth moment and we sit in our truths. And then you have to find a way to let them know you need them and let them know that it's okay to have your woman need you or have your person need you. Because I think a lot of times you get wrapped up in your ego. You want to fix the thing. You don't need anybody. And it is bull. You always need someone. And especially in relationships, if that person doesn't feel needed, that's when you have problems. That's when they get attentions of others.
Yeah, and that's what men need. That's definitely one of their love languages, however you want to put it on the spectrum, because men are fixers. They are quick thinkers, they're doers. And if they love you and you come to them with an issue that's bringing you pain, they're going to do every move heaven and earth to remove that from you. And we have to allow them. And how do you, since you said you've been single for a long time, how are you able to make that shift? Because as single women, I was single for a long time too. And as a single person for a long time, and we are taught, well, if you're not going to do it, I'm going to do it. Or if there's no one to do it, who else is going to do it? And we get used to that. So how were you able to let go of the reins?
I talked to you. I did. I talked to you. I talked to anybody that was in a relationship, that was married before, that, I don't have the book. I didn't know. I thought I knew. I trust my gut instincts, but I made sure I surround myself with people who have been on that journey and they get it. And I have to say, Cherie, you know what to do. Like, in a way, you used to always tell me, like, you're gonna have to be a wife, and it's different. You always used to tell me that.
Yeah.
And but it's really trusting that, okay, why don't I try something different for a change, where I'm not trying to control the thing, I'm not trying to sabotage. Let me see what happens. And it worked.
And right, exactly. So it worked. So I do want to get to the actual title. How do you know that you found love? How do you know?
Yeah. You know what? There's a peace that comes over you. It, in Hollywood and everywhere else, it feels like this big old storm, and you got the gallop, and you got the chocolates, and you got all this. It's none of that foolishness. It's waking up and like, oh my gosh, I actually care about someone's well-being, and I want to know if they come home safely to me. And then vice versa, that you also want to know that they're living their best life. And that if they want to go for a run, for example, David likes to run, like, are they running? Are they getting, are they doing the things? And that's when, it feels real love, is when, they don't care. They're not squeamish about anything, and they're making sure that you are well taken care of, in their way. And I think one day you wake up and you're like, okay, this person really does. I am their center as they are mine.
Mm-hmm. That is so important. When we're dating and we're out there and single and trying to figure things out, I remember one of the biggest challenges I used to have was not feeling like a priority.
Yeah.
And I need to be a priority. Of course, we are people of particular ages, so there are going to be children involved. Oftentimes there are going to be other relationships. We understand that. But I can't be so low on the totem pole that you don't have to call me to tell me you can't make it or something like that. Like, it needs to be, oh my goodness, something came up. I have to call her. I need to let her know. I need to change. I need to make up for apology. Like, I need to be there. And that is so important for someone to make them a priority, because let's face it, as women, most of the times we're going to give 110% to a relationship. Mm-hmm. We're going to do everything. We're going to make sure you're comfortable and all of that. And I always say this, the old grandma adage is that they got to love us what? Just a little bit more. Just a little bit more, because we are the prize, and we have to act like the prize.
That's right.
And so it's like, no, I'm not doing the heavy lifting. Why? I've done it. I know that I can do it. I don't have to do it. Now I want to release that masculine energy that I was forced to operate in. I want to rest in my feminine energy.
Yeah.
And I have to say, I've seen that in you.
Yeah.
And it's been so nice to just see you just soften, and not that you were hard, but just soften in your femininity, because you have someone who can do that for you. Yeah. And, remember, we have conversations. If there's something going on in your life, I'm like, call him.
Yeah.
Let him be that pillow for you. Let him be that blanket because he will. So he's got you. He's going to do it.
Yeah.
And as women, we have our girlfriends. We can call up a girl in a minute, and we can. What's our code? You want to share our code?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Tango.
Tell them about that. Tell them about our tango.
No, you tell them. I told the us get together story. You tell them the tango story. Okay. Let's share. I don't want to be doing all the talking. Come on.
Well, you're my guest. I think I came up with the name because it reminded me of Rambo, the movie Rambo. God, I'm dating myself. The movie Rambo, and in the beginning, she's just like tango. She's trying to get to the point. For whatever reason, and how Karen and I, we've been doing this, God, for like a long time, for as long as we've known each other.
Yeah, but it's great. I love a good old tradition,
right? So tango, folks, is the ultimate emergency. And oftentimes it could either be relationship or workplace, that type of thing. It's one of those things with something's going on, I don't know what to do, or I'm feeling anxious, and we would both use it in different times. I remember when I was suffering and going through my anxious years and anxiety and suffering with all these things, I would text her and be like, tango, and she would talk me down. Maybe I would stop shaking or whatever it was, or there was something something situational at work that maybe, Karen wasn't quite sure how to deal with, and she would tango me. And how we use tango, we don't abuse it. But tango is, if you are driving, you're going to pull over and take the call. If you're in a conference call, you're going to be like, I am going to call you immediately, and you're going to end that call as soon as possible. We have set such a precedent for ourselves for this tango that, we will, give me a second, I'm going to go in the bathroom. I got 5 minutes. What's going on, right? We have been each other's lifeline for 20 years. And when I would see a tango, I would be like, 10-minute break. Everybody take a 10-minute break because we don't abuse it. No. We've had tango moments where we're like whispering.
Exactly. And it's important, Cherie, because especially with the heightened suicides and all the things that are happening where people feel so alone, and it just breaks my heart that if they just set up some sort of lifeline to their support structure.
Yeah.
Their support structure wants to be there for you. You just set up a lifeline to it. This is how you know that when you're loved, or and how you're loved, is when you start really taking care of yourself. Because you start looking at yourself as way more valuable, and you put it in the tango moments.
No, it's so true. And it's that trust. If there's an actual emergency in the world, we call 911. We are trusting that fire department, police department, ambulance is going to come. And we need to be able to have the same security in the people that we hold the most dearest to us. Not everyone gets a tango. No one else actually gets a tango.
Same here.
Nobody else. And I know that if I need my husband, there's no tango. I need my husband. But if this is a Karen thing, I'm definitely like, I'm going to call Kay, like, what's going on? But I kind of want to go back talking about women and how we have our friendships and we are able to do this tango thing because that's just who we are. But when we're single and we've been single for a long time, and then we have men who love us, we have to start thinking about shifting that tango a little bit. And because we don't know what they're capable of unless we allow them, let them prove it to us.
100%.
And there's a difference. There's a difference between female friend support and the man who loves you support. It's so different. And like with my husband and I, he's the first person I call, good news, bad news, what have you. I still got you from my tango, and there's a clear space for those moments because sometimes I can't tell my husband certain things that is a girlfriend thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
But when we're feeling small, it's up to us to be woman enough to call our big, strong men and have them fill us with We're beautiful. You're this. It's okay. Come on home. I got you. Don't worry about it. I'll cook dinner. We don't have to cook. I'll go out. I'm running a bath for you. Here's your favorite dessert. I'm going to pick this up for you. Like, we need them to step in and just love on us.
Yes.
And I just want to be the little girl, and I come home and you take care of me. And tomorrow I get up and I put my suits on and I put on my red bottoms and I'm the big boss lady again. But in this household right now, I need to be your little China doll.
That's right.
And that's how I know that I'm loved, because you have somebody who wants to do that for you.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So I'm going to ask you this. I'm going to ask you, if you could tell single dating Karen 10 years ago one thing,
mm-hmm.
what would you tell her?
Ooh. 10 years ago, what would I tell her? Shut your mouth.
Okay.
Sorry, that was
no. You gotta say it now. You gotta share it out.
No, be quiet. Be quiet. Not everything needs a comment. Not everything needs to be said right this moment. Mm-hmm. Not everything needs to be said by you. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it's so not important that it's said right now. So, like, don't say it. Wow. Sit in your silence.
That is, I was not expecting you to say that. I think that is awesome. That is so true. Learning how to sit on things sometimes. I remember my husband saying to me, where were you 20 years ago? And I said, I was crazy.
Exactly.
I wasn't this person.
You couldn't tell me.
No,
same here.
Curbing my tongue. Oh, she didn't exist.
Right.
Especially I was that boss lady managing things around. It was really hard for me to separate the two. And I'm like, no man wants that. A man wants a woman to come home and be, soft and warm for them and loving and just someone that they can enjoy. They already know that we're badasses. They know that already, right? But yeah, I mean, we really have to learn. And I remember when I was asking God for my husband, I really took the time to understand my role in the failures of other marriages and relationships, the things that I had tolerated to a fault, and why. Sometimes I accept mediocrity because I didn't want to be alone, right? So what are some of the things that you feel you changed in your life in order to attract such a wonderful and loving relationship?
Actually, the ability to say no. Because I realized that as much as I needed to be open and be able to receive, I needed to not accept things that were not good for me. And that ability to say no helped free me to say yes.
Oh my God, I love that.
And be present in it.
I love that so much. I just wish that, our men could just like show up in the screen right now, but this is our moment, I would love to have you and David on and couple stuff.
He's shy though.
I know. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
Sometimes he's shy, and then he's not shy, and then he's talking my ear up. But it's okay. His stories are so long. That's between me, you, and the millions out there. He got a long ass story. Sorry.
Well, but you know what? That's another thing. And you said it. So how do you deal with that? So how do you do this? I'm learning. I am learning that when you really, really love someone and the love is genuine, there's so much more that you would tolerate. Mm-hmm. But if it's some Joe Schmo that you ain't really feeling, it's like, can you get to the end of the story already? I mean, like, really?
Yeah. And there's some days I'm like, babe, this is going to be a long story. You could have finished that. You put that little extra in there. But I appreciate you for trying that. I like that. We have a lot of laughs. I mean, I think if you are not laughing in your relationship, something's not right.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to have a good laugh, a good chuckle every now and then. Yeah, it's really important.
Yeah, I love the fact that, well, do I love it? Well, I guess I do love it, but I love the fact that there are things between my husband and I, of course, in all relationships, right? But there are things that my husband does that I can never, ever share with anyone. I cannot. And
Right.
I love the fact that he is so comfortable to just be his authentic self with me.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I'm just like, do you really have to share that with me? Like, really? You could have kept that to yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But men need to feel free too, just like we
Yeah.
need to feel free. We are almost at our time. Kay, God, I love this so much. I could talk to you, of course. I'll probably be talking to you as soon as
We're
we
gonna
get
talk
off.
later.
But I want to give you the last word. I want you to speak to our 50 and fabulous sisters out there who
Mm-hmm.
feel as though love is never going to find them. What would you say to your sisters?
You know what? You have to be proactive. I know that we were brought up waiting, sitting back for someone to approach you, but it's not that world anymore. Go online, create that profile, be light about it. Put down the things that you'd love to do that you're not doing now, not just the things that you always do. Stop looking for a resume in a man and a resume that says he's this and he's that, because it means nothing. And you'll be surprised at the one that really is the one for you. And when he comes and he shows up, welcome him and be quiet just for a moment and enjoy. Stop trying to control the thing.
Okay. All right. Well, you heard Miss Karen Robinson. Yikes. I've known this girl for a couple of decades, and I learned something about you today. I really did. I love you so much. I'm so happy for you. I'm so proud of all the things that you were doing. I remember when we were back then, and I love the women that we are now.
Oh, it's a
I
beautiful,
I
beautiful
love it.
blessing.
And I love that the journey has been with you. And I'm not going to get emotional, but I
Thank
love
you
you
for
so
my
much.
book. I've been writing in my book, and I want to share something with my book before I go.
Okay.
This is called Just a Girl Boss Building Her Empire, My Dreams. That's this page, in case you don't remember.
I remember.
Yeah.
I remember.
Dear future Karen, thank you for staying the course in the face of adversity. You're beautiful, strong, and kind. You made it. You kept your focus on serving and doing better for others, and I love you for it. Be blessed, stay strong, physically and mentally. You go, girl. Love, your younger Karen.
Oh my gosh.
So,
I just need to take a minute. Oh my goodness. I am not going to cry. I am not going to cry.
Bob, bring them to your
Thank you. But for those of you who do not know, I did design a journal, and it's called Girl, You Better Shine Your Light. And Karen has it there, and it's a self-reflection. Yes, a self-reflection journal where, you have your daily, today I did, my daily journal pages. And then every 5 or 6 days, there is a prompt or some type of an assignment. And she was just reading the assignment, which was to write a love letter to your younger self. And she graciously shared that. So the link, we can show the link one more time as to how you can purchase it. It'll also be in the content. Karen, thank you. All right, you know what, guys? I just gotta do it. we
gotta keep that.
I gotta
keep moving.
So we already ended this, packaged it up, it was done, and then our producer, hey Petra, came back and say, wait a minute, you guys didn't do the cup thing, you guys didn't do the recap thing, so we are back trying to slice this all together. So Karen, my dear, thank you so much. This has been awesome. I can't wait to see the bloopers. But, all of my guests, I always ask you to come on with a really hot beverage and a really cool mug, and that's your mug. And my mug, I'm not sure if it's showing up backwards or not, but my mug says wealth-minded.
Wonderful.
And that's just kind of where I'm at right now. What are you drinking?
I'm drinking some raspberry pomegranate tea.
Why did you say it like that? I feel like I'm
that's a woman of a certain age. And then she's got a gold hand.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, she's beautiful.
That's really cute. Well, I'm drinking, let's see, according to the tag, black tea. I'm keeping it real. That's what I'm doing. Just
power.
Black tea.
Power to you.
Mm-hmm. You got to say it with some bass in your voice. I'm drinking some black tea. Okay, that's what
you just got to say pomegranate.
No,
raspberry,
never.
Delicious tea.
No. I'm feeling very uncomfortable right now. I'm feeling very uncomfortable, but listen, I can't have any more fun with anybody but you. But I wanted to again thank you for just number one, saying yes to being on the podcast. Thank you, bringing so much light and just being so honest about unveiling your truth and knowing when you are loved. And some of the takeaways that I got from this, and feel free to jump in, was really just to be open, allowing yourself to put your guard down, to trust a little bit, and just for the most part, doing things a little bit differently for a better result, right? For a better result. And one really important nugget that you said was learning when to be quiet. And I think that is so key because, as people and women and bosses and things like that, and also, hiding some of our pain, putting up walls and things like that, we're really quick to say things. And sometimes I've learned that if we can just take a beat, process, think about actually why you initially wanted to respond that way, scaling it back, and then having a conversation about it, as opposed to just attacking. Is there anything you wanted to add in terms of our takeaways?
Yeah, along those lines, stop trying to control the narrative.
Yeah, you said
Let the story play. Be present in your own story. And you don't need an invite to your own party.
Well, all right, let's cling to that, my dear, because I have nothing else to say. Cling, bing. All right. Until next time, guys, this has been Let's Get Unleashed. This topic, man, this was one of my favorite topics. Unveiling true love and knowing when you found it. Come on with that, sis.
That's right. In the twilight years.
Well, Twilight. You're in the twilight years. I'm not. I'm 50. Never mind. But whatever. Yeah. But anyway, it is never too late, guys. You can find love. My husband was 62 when we met, and I was 49, and here we are. And we're just living our lives and having a great time. And I'm just waiting for Karen's invitation to their wedding. Anyway, just saying thank you.
Me too.
Love you, girl.
I love you, heart.
Bye. Bye.